we got a bit to talk about, don't we? Hi everyone, I hope you all are having a fantastic day. But hey, even if you haven't been having a very good week, I can definitely say you've been having a better week than Call of Duty. With its constant game-breaking bugs, the very sharp and steep decline of its player base in a very short amount of time, I might add, has been very interesting for them, I might say. Now, I didn't want my first video of the year to be this negative, so I'm not going to have it be negative. I'm going to try and look through this whole situation through a very objective mindset, or maybe one that comes off a bit more nuanced and not just hating on the game to hate on the game, and not glazing the game just because they fix the most basic things on the planet, okay? So, without further ado, let's get a bit of background with this whole video, shall we? Recently, in the last few weeks, Black Ops 6 has had a ton of really just odd and weird issues that we haven't seen that often in other Call of Duty games, or at least nowhere near as bad as this game has been. I don't think I've seen a game genuinely as bad as this. Even Black Ops 4, I don't even think had this bad of crashing issues on launch. At least for me, it's not even close. But aside from just crashing issues, we have constant disconnection server issues that are plaguing every single aspect of the game, from zombies to multiplayer to Warzone. It seems like you can't escape it anywhere. Like, for example, look at this clip right here. This guy is clearly behind him on his screen, but on the other dude's screen who killed him, he's somehow still in front of him. These servers aren't able to handle the fast-paced gameplay that Omni Movement is providing. And I'm just going to keep all these clips in the corner of the game glitching out, or how about all the times of the game lagging out and you just teleporting to a different side of the map that you are nowhere near close to? Or how about all the apparent hackers in Warzone and in multiplayer that are able to shut down the servers so that they don't lose elo? I understand I'm not a game developer or a security engineer, but at the same time, this is a multi-billion-dollar, if not trillion-dollar company. Or we can move on to something just, I don't even know how this happens. They made an execution that doesn't execute. How? How does that happen? How do you make an execution that doesn't execute? How do you do that? How do you do that, man? Or we have situations with patch notes where either it's one of three things. They either are straight up incorrect patch notes. Number two, they don't test out any of the actual patch notes to see if everything actually is working when it goes to live. And number three, and probably the biggest one, is that it seems like for every update they do where they're trying to fix something, they break it in a different way. Going in order here, the zombies community has been so up in arms about this that basically the moment that any update comes out, we are checking firsthand to see if they're telling the truth. For example, the vermin double hit glitch. As of currently, it seems like vermin, when they lunge attack, are double hitting you. Most of the time, you're not able to see the second hit of damage that happens, but sometimes, if you're lucky enough, you can get a glimpse of it with the naked eye. And not only does it seem like vermin are sometimes doing double damage, it seems like they're doing it every single time. And if you want to know how strong that is, for example, on round 66 with Juggernog, if you get lunged attack by a vermin, you're dead instantaneously. I think the damage at that point without armor is something like 280, maybe even 300. You might get one shot with probiotic. Which, first off, incredible game design coming up with scaling damage. That's a whole other issue we can get into later. Now, before we move on, I want to get this out of the way. I am not dunking on zombies right now, because I'm going to be completely honest, zombies has been the best part of Call of Duty for at least the last decade. But y'all ain't ready for that conversation yet, I'm just gonna be honest with you. And not to mention, even though I have been bringing them up, as of me recording this video, they just came out with a blog post fixing some of the issues, and also actually giving us dev notes and communicating exactly why they're doing certain things or whatnot. Even if it feels like half the time they're kinda diverting or trying to spin the reasons why they changed something, or half the time they just kind of prove that these changes just didn't need to exist. I quote directly from the Black Ops 6 patch notes. "We know it's not fun to see a fix, in quotation marks, multiple weeks later for something that wasn't bothering you in the first place. So we are diverting the directed mode changes, giving Shadow Rift 4 new buffs, and scheduling a fix to allow speedrunners to safely use the Shock Charge tactical in Terminus again. While that is a good message, and I am very glad that they finally are actually communicating with us directly, if you're gonna say something like that in your patch notes, why weren't these thoughts going through your head when you were making these changes to begin with? It kind of just feels like at that point you're wasting developer time, are you not? What I will say is that I'm very grateful that they are fixed, but does that fix the overall state of the game? No, not even close. There are still crashing issues, connection issues, anti-cheat doesn't work half the time, and besides zombies, the game is actually just straight up not fun anymore. Not like it was to begin with, but I think people are finally coming around to that. And I will say also to the people in here who are saying, oh, you just hate the game and you want all of us to hate it. You want to, bring us down or whatever. Dude, don't let me yuck your yum. If you like something, go ahead. And kind of going back to the main crux of the video, which is the lack of quality in Black Ops 6, let's talk about the latest Squid Game event and what exactly it has content-wise. Because while a lot of people are talking about the bugs and the glitches of the game, something that I think is getting lost in this is just that while there is a lot of content in the game, like there's not a shortage of content, it's not good content. And what the Squid Game event brings is not much, honestly. For multiplayer, it's basically red light, green light from the Squid Game show. I've never watched it, so maybe it's cooler if you've watched the show. But from someone who's not interested in playing it, and in which the product has failed to convince me to play the mode to see if it's even worth it, it just kind of looks like you move in a straight line, then it's red light, green lights, and then that's it. The XP didn't look like it was worth it, at least from what I saw. The game looks like it got boring after like 5 tries or 3 tries, if that. The games are incredibly short, and as far as I saw, it didn't look like there was any real rewards for winning. It seemed like it was nothing really that I saw. Warzone completely couldn't care less. Warzone has been ass for years, and I'm honestly surprised that people still play it because Fortnite is just flat out better. I hate Fortnite, and that's like a parent. And the LTM for zombies, green light, dead light, probably one of the biggest missed opportunities for an LTM. Now, first off, I hate the idea of limited time modes when in older games, we had Gauntlet, we had mutations from Black Ops 4 in Black Ops 2, we had, what do we have? Grief, Turned. We sorely need other modes in Black Ops 6, in my opinion. We've been needing more modes in Call of Duty and in zombies in general for a very long time. Gun game would be my biggest suggestion. Basically, green light gives you double points. Red light gives you nothing and you have to stand still or else you lose points. And if you have 0 points, you lose health. And dead light basically makes the zombies round 100, which you just run away from, quite honestly. And by the way, here's the fun part. Even if you do have the ability to kill them, it doesn't matter. They don't give you anything. And in the most recent update, they also increased the round cap to 20, but it doesn't fix anything. You still can't do the Easter eggs. You can't get the wonder weapons. You can't even build the jet gun on Liberty Falls, the map they added in this patch. You can't do the main Easter egg. You can't do anything. It's a very boring mode. And especially after this, since this is all they've added, the mode is like, realistically, it's like a light 2. There's nothing going for it. There's no replayability. There's no unique rewards for getting to round 20. And I think the main reason for the LTM being like this is simply crunch. More than likely, it is the corporate side of the company, the higher ups themselves. Please do not kill us, so Activision. They probably told the devs sometime, like maybe, I'm gonna guess at the most 3 weeks to a month before the event was supposed to come out. And they say, hey, we're doing a Squid Game event. Get to work or we get the whips out. That's probably exactly what they said. There's probably a quote directly from, one of the Activision guys, what's his name? Kevin Spacey. Yeah, that was probably the guy. And it's a very little quality. The maps really don't change at all, apart from the creepy ass doll just kind of staring at you for some reason. And that's it. There's nothing else to it. And again, with the patch notes, it doesn't make sense half the time, their reasoning. Quoting directly from the patch notes again, with the launch of Deadlight Greenlight, we wanted to ease players into the LTM with a single map and a 10 round cap before exfil to make sure the majority of players had a chance to be successful without feeling they needed gobblegums to survive. That's odd to begin with because this game is exceptionally easy. I really don't know any casuals that are struggling to get to round 30 in this game, if I'm being honest. And I'm talking like they don't play games that much casually. Like maybe once, twice, maybe 3 times a week if they're lucky sort of casual. Basically a bite-sized experience that's not too punishing. Looks like it's too easy and over too soon for a lot of you. This almost seems like they're surprised from this, but at the same time, they have the data, do they not? I would be extremely surprised if in this day and age for Activision, they don't have the exact metrics as to what round people usually get to after a certain amount of time. This seems odd that they would be surprised by this. Starting today, we've added Liberty Falls to the map selection and extended the round cap to 20. After that, we'll plan week 3's round cap extension based on how crazy the community wants the challenge to get. There is no challenge. There is no challenge. What are you talking about? Milo recently uploaded his video on this subject, and I have to agree with his analysis is that it seems like they had a 3-week allotment of this LTM. So they had to fill it in with something, and the developers are so overworked for time and have endured so much crunch that they physically can't do anything else besides just add this. I guarantee you at the end of this 3rd week, they're going to make the round cap unlimited, and that's kind of it. Oh, wait, no, I forgot. The actual main prize for this event, the premium skin, which you got with the first event card, which was $10, by the way, had reused voice lines for some reason. Now, I'm gonna be honest, do I care about this? No. If you actually bought the event pass, you're stupid, and quite honestly, you deserve it. But at the same time, as the consumer, man, that feels really, really bad. And also really dumb. You're telling me that you have an LTM with one of the biggest cultural phenomena to happen in the 2020s, which is Squid Games. You couldn't be bothered to make sure that they got original voice lines? I feel like that's a bit weird. I'm surprised Netflix actually allowed that to happen if they even know what's going on currently. And there is a lot more to this entire thing, but I'd rather not make this video 40, 50 minutes, an hour long, because if I went over every single negative thing about this game, oh, I would be here editing this video for the next year at least. So what can we do to change this? Is there any way that we can backpedal this and maybe put Activision on the back ropes where they need to be? Yes, actually, and it's really simple. Stop buying the game. Or better yet, because I know for a fact most people can't go without the next Call of Duty, myself included if we're talking about Call of Duty Zombies, the best thing that you can do is quite simply don't buy any microtransactions. Yes, I understand that normally Activision gets their money back in terms of the sales of the game. However, here's the thing. If all of a sudden Activision has to tell shareholders microtransaction sales were down 50% this year, could you imagine how quickly they would change their tone? They would probably lower prices and everything. Is that a pipe dream? Yes, of course it is. But at this point, there's nothing we can do on an individual level besides voting with our wallets. And without that, quite frankly, we hold zero power. As long as people stay doing the exact same thing, no matter what, nothing's gonna change. And honestly, I don't want that to happen. So I have not purchased anything. The only thing I have purchased was with pre-existing COD points that were on my account from Cold War. I am not going to buy anything else, and I recommend you all do the same. And I think as the final ultimatum for this argument is quite simply, this game has a shelf life. Eventually, I don't know when. Maybe it's whenever Activision dies. Maybe it's in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Every single aspect of this game will be turned off, and you are eventually not going to be able to use the things you purchased. And if you think the full online only thing isn't going to continue for the next however many CODs there are left, I think you're crazy. Maybe they'll eventually add local play or something after, but it's definitely not going to be during the launch because they've seen that they can get away with it. But okay, let's say you actually can go without playing the game. What do you do then? Simple. Go back and enjoy the glory days. Go back and play World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, anything you want. Because guess what? You can still play those games. Enjoy that. Enjoy that freedom as a consumer that you can decide one day, hey, I want to go back and play this game I haven't played in the last decade. Or heck, do what I did and go back and enjoy an experience that you didn't think you would like or you got caught up in the hype of hating, such as IW. Because in my opinion, it's worth it. At least wait until the games go on sale if you're going to do that. And especially during 2020 2024 and I hope 2025. Dude, this year for games has been freaking awesome. Like, just with Balatro myself, I've put in like 80 hours into that game, and it's the most simple card game. It's a roguelike poker game. Dude, I've been so addicted. That if you guys are wondering why my upload schedule has been so garbage, blame that game. That game is so good. I think the statistic right now is you would need like $800 or $700 to buy everything that Black Ops 6 has already shown. That's ridiculous, dude. And with that, I kind of want to say that I'm sorry if I ever convinced anyone to buy this game. I kind of regret that with my zombies review, and I kind of am changing my review as of currently because of how buggy this game is. From a light 7, decent 7, that's what it originally was, to probably like a strong 5 to light 6, and that's just me being objective with it. If I'm not being objective, I would give this game a don't buy it out of 10. The game isn't worth it because the only thing I could recommend you from the game is zombies. And if you're not into zombies, or I don't believe it's worth $70, then it's not worth it. Don't buy it. Maybe it will be worth it in the next year, but at that point, honestly, I would just say move on. And to kind of round out this video and just kind of be the most realistic I can be, Black Ops 6 is going to get better. This is not the end of the franchise, not even close. But I think for many people, this might be a wake-up call into seeing that it's always going to be like this. This cycle is just going to continue. Whether it be due to greed, incompetency, or completely engineered and it's on purpose, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change as long as it makes the money. And if you're enjoying the game, I'm glad you are, because I wish I could. But at the moment, I just don't vibe with it. It's as simple as that. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will be releasing a Q&A on the 16th. I will have a pinned comment in the comment section where you can put your questions, whatever it is. It's my 1-year anniversary. We hit 5,000 subs. That's insane for the first year. I wasn't even expecting to hit 1,000 if I'm being honest with you. So thank you all so much. Like and sub. And if you all want me to keep doing this kind of green screen style of content, you know, let me know. I'll be happy to do more, because this video was very easy to make with the freedom that it's given me. More zombie content is coming, I promise you. This is not the end of the channel or something like that, even though it kind of at some points when I was listening back kind of sounded like it. It's not, don't worry about that. Anyway, y'all, later.